bougie. Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, I gotta.
Yo. Episode 4. It's the College Couch Podcast. Listen, we're excited, Jay. We are super excited. I mean, it was a great weekend of college football.
Definitely.
We had USC in Colorado, LSU and Ole Miss. And this next, the last one is a personal favorite between the both of us. It was the Deep South oldest rivalry. I think that's the name of it. Yeah, the Deep South oldest rivalry with Georgia and Auburn. So, listen, let's get into this first game. Of course, we got to go USC Colorado. Brother, this was a game.
This was definitely a game. USC, they took off with it early. They showed Caleb Williams showed why he is the Heisman hopeful and the reigning Heisman winner. Balled out. You know, but Colorado, they said no, we ain't going nowhere. Second half, they came out swinging.
Right.
Shedeur Sanders went off and threw some deep shots, through some tight windows, and used his legs. So I think that Colorado made up a lot from last week to this week. So I mean, it was a good game toward the end. It didn't start off like that, but it was a very good game toward the end.
Yes. Well, hey, combined between Shedeur and Caleb, it was over 700 yards. This game was a pretty well anticipated matchup. I mean, between the two, it was lights out from pretty much like you said after halftime.
Right.
They were down.
Yeah.
Colorado was down, and for them to find a way to just fight back and only lose by 7, it shows that they were just resilient.
Right.
And I mean, when you have a team that is kind of being played with injuries right now, with losing 2 of their starting guys on the defensive side of the ball, it kind of really puts the impact to where you're like, okay, how can we compensate with 2 of our big time guys getting down?
Right.
So it was really good to see that they were able to come back, but at the same time, it kind of shows that USC may have some challenges on the defensive side of the ball.
May have some. I think those challenges are pretty much set in stone. But not to discredit Colorado, but players make plays. So when your stars go down, your stars come back up. So you gotta have stars coming in from them second and third positions. So that's why you recruit.
Yeah.
But I think the players that they had and Deion coaching them up, let them know like, hey, we might be down our two top guys, but hey, y'all want to win a roster spot.
Yeah.
Because we may have some injuries on down the line, and we might lean on y'all guys later on. So who wants to play?
Yeah.
And boy, the second half that they show up and show out. So I think that was a very good showing for them to say, hey, we might not have our top guys, but we still can play. I'm still a 4-star. I might not be the starter. I might not be the star, but I'm still a 4-star or a 5-star player. So, I definitely think that was big for Colorado. Colorado and USC both learned some things about themselves
for sure
on Saturday.
Shedeur Sanders was showing his speed a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, normally this is a guy who normally has negative rushing yards. For him to finish off with 50 yesterday, on 14 attempts at that, I mean, you don't really see him get to show his legs a lot.
I mean, I think first few games, he didn't have to. He didn't need to.
Yeah.
When you got your guys getting open, you got players making plays, your line holding up when they were holding up or whatever, you don't have to make plays with your legs. You can sit back in the pocket and pick the defense apart. I mean, that's, Bo Nix showed that last week when they played Colorado, So, I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders, I think that he showed his versatility. I mean, he is a Sanders. He is Deion's kid. Right. So, I mean, I don't think the speed fell too far from the tree. So, I think that he just showed a lot of versatility.
Right.
Only helping his draft stocks.
Another unsung hero yesterday, who really just came out of the woodwork, Omarion Miller. Wide out for Colorado, 196 yards.
Former 4-star. Like I said, plugging in for the stars.
I mean, I mean, but it's really been a thing to watch of how week by week we start to see more and more guys who just have that breakout game. We've seen a lot of Jimmy Corn. We've seen a lot of Xavier Weaver. Dylan Edwards. But you know, it's always been a really cool thing to just see. Colorado really has some guys on that squad.
Right. They have a team full of legs.
Yeah.
So you peel one back, you got another one that's just as good.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, just that just goes to show you, just because you're not the starter right now, don't mean you necessarily have to jump ship or whatever. Yeah. Just hey, you know, when your time is called, be ready.
Right.
You know, stay ready. So I mean, we knew Colorado was deep, but we just didn't realize how deep.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of questions are more so that the offense definitely has some, you know, multiple ways to beat you. I just think that defense, you know, they need to, you know, go back to the drawing board, figure out what they need to do so they don't let teams get up by that, because it's hard to come back, you know, and put up 40-some points, you know, when the defense is letting the other team score more points. So I mean, there definitely some questions need to be filled, some questions need to be answered. So
absolutely, and I mean, again, this game was pretty much a game of yard. I mean, in the stats, everything was super close. I mean, with Caleb and Shedeur, you know, not far apart within their passing yards, rushing yards, USC 95, Colorado 193, and then in the receiving game, it was 403 to 371 with Colorado. I mean, everything was really just close. Like, there's no really bad way of saying like this game wasn't like what we thought it was going to be. You know?
Well, you have two offenses that are similar.
Yeah.
You got superstar Caleb Williams on one side of the ball, and you got a superstar Shedeur Williams. Yeah. I mean, Shedeur Sanders on the other side of the ball, and then you got receivers that can go get it at any given moment. Right. Both sides got running backs that can get open in space. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much the same thing. I think both of them have similar identity. You know, offense can put up big numbers, but the defense, you know, struggles to keep the other team off the board. So I think that both of them got to answer those questions if they want to continue to compete.
For sure. Well, we look to really see more of this Colorado team as well as USC. Again, the matchup I'm truly looking forward to is USC versus Washington, where we'll see two Heisman hopefuls, with Michael Penix Jr. as well as Caleb Williams, coming up in the next few weeks or so. But let's move on to this shootout that happened in oh my goodness,
another big offensive game.
My goodness,
another big offensive game.
Ole Miss and LSU just went battle for battle. I mean, pretty much blow for blow in Oxford yesterday.
Right.
Man, I mean, it was a sellout crowd, and dude, let me tell you something about Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels never ceases to amaze me, man. Like, I've never seen a guy who can really do both like the way he does. Like, I mean, if he can't compensate in the air, he's gonna compensate on the ground.
What I like about him, he's very decisive.
Yes.
He's gonna run. He's gonna run. He's not gonna second guess.
For sure.
Which is big for a quarterback. And if he's gonna throw it, he's gonna sit back there and he's gonna figure it out, and he's gonna roll. He's gonna roll. Keep his eyes downfield and find the open player. But like I said, when he decides to run, you count him. Yeah. He's tough as nails. He's been taking some big hits all year, but you know he licking his wounds, getting back up, making plays.
I mean, bro, like these are video game numbers. These quarterbacks are putting
right.
Like,
and then let's not forget Jackson Dart over there, man.
Yes,
oh my goodness,
Jackson Dart.
It was a shootout, man. It's kind of like one of the games you just didn't want it to end. You like, man, what's next? Like, you know what I'm saying?
This game was this close to going into OT.
Very close.
If LSU didn't score. I'm sorry, if Ole Miss didn't score.
It
was close, bro. And I mean, again, like you said, Jaden Daniels with 414 yards and Jackson Dart with 389, bro. Again, these guys are just pretty much throwing it out there for their receivers.
Right.
And I mean, their receivers are just going to make the play. But man, what I really do again, Jaden Daniels, 414 yards in the air, 99 yards on the ground.
Beast. I mean, I think both sides was able to do what they wanted. Pretty much. Yeah. What I liked about it was a clean game. It wasn't a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
You know, both quarterbacks put the ball in the air and then turned over. Like, they made good decisions. Yeah. It was just a matter of execution, you know, and which team got to stop first.
Right.
You know, so it's hard for a defense. It's a bad game for a defense, but for offensive coordinator, that is a beautiful sign.
Oh yeah.
You know, going forward.
I mean, the game just flowed. It was all just fluid. And when you have games fluid like that, that really just makes it more entertaining for the fans at home, for the fans in the crowd. I mean, again, like, dude, we I mean, I was joking with you last night. I was like, man, why are those Ole Miss students rushing that field? But now that I understand, like this game was really
It was big for
Yeah,
Ole Miss
it
because
was-
you know a lot of people was questioning like, oh, Ole Miss, you know, are they gonna get over the hump? Are they gonna do this? They're ranked here, there, whatever. You come in and you beat a team like LSU, you know, ranked number 13, you rank number 20, and you go to a game that is this close in yards, it's this close in points. Like y'all are really going tit for tat, and then for you to hold them off and make that big stop and prove a lot of doubters wrong. That's big.
Yeah.
I'd have rushed the field too. You know. So
yeah. It was definitely a game of a lot of implications. I mean, this Ole Miss team, I'm still reeling off of their win from when they played Tulsa. I mean, they played to the team, and I mean, they really showed me that they can compete with pretty much anyone. But at the same time, that Tulsa team really showed what Ole Miss really had to give. Yeah. Because that Tulsa team was not a bad team. That Tulsa team was great.
They definitely had to put their feet in the ground and plant their cleats in the ground and play football 4 quarters. But
I meant Tulane. Sorry about that. Tulane, not Tulsa. I just had to realize I meant Tulane. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it was cool. You know, but I really think that you build off of that. You build off of games like that. Like even with this game, even though Ole Miss got the victory, I think that you know, build off of stuff like this. You know what you do well, you know, and now you see what you do wrong. Like okay, now I know my offense go up and put up 55 points in a game, but I know my defense. We need to fix some stuff. We need to get out and make plays. You know, wrap up. You know, not miss tackles, force fumbles, this, that, whatever it is. You know, my defense needs to step up because I can't allow a team to put up 49 points. If my offense putting up 55 points, it should not be a nail biter. You know, so you know, just got some things to work on. It was a lot of good, like you know, and then, like I said, you didn't turn the ball over, which was good. Anytime, any day you put up a lot of yards and don't turn the ball over is a good day
for sure.
So.
And I mean, a lot of these games were pretty much cut dry. Again, great games, but you know, it was just one team had to really just fight, and I mean, they were great games. I mean, there's really nothing that was really hey, just went out there, played, and came home. Honestly, you got dinner ready, you know.
Right. You if you love offense, and you love a back and forth shootout. These were the games for you.
Sure.
You know, but you know, if you like me, you like defensive games where you really gotta, you know, think and figure out the other team or whatever. This was not these 2 games were probably not your team. You probably was like, all right, this game is boring.
Yeah.
You know, ain't nobody making no stops. But I mean, hey, players make plays, like I always say, it's gonna be my motto from now on. Players gonna make plays.
Yep.
And they did that, you know. And LSU was right there.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, fingertips on the ball in the end zone last play, but hey, you know, you live to fight another day.
Right. I look at it this way. If you wanted to see a game where you think you may have had known the outcome, then you probably should have watched Florida and Kentucky. I mean, man, that game there was just like, I think Florida's gonna win. No, Kentucky said, I think you're wrong. So
yeah, Kentucky just wanted it more to them. You know, it just It was a struggle for Florida, but hey, it is what it is. You know, like I said, you learn something. Anytime you step up on that field, you learn something, whether you win or lose. You know, so you just got to take it, lick your wounds and figure it out next week. So,
yeah, for sure. And I mean, bro, Malik Nabers and Brian Thomas on that receiving end of LSU. I mean, Brian Thomas 3 touchdowns for LSU. Bro, it's just, man, these guys just play. They just play to their ability. I mean,
players make plays.
Players make plays.
Just like on the other side, with the rushing attack with Jenkins going for 177 yards.
Yeah,
that's. What are you gonna do? You're killing them through the air with Jackson Dart's arm, and then you got a running back like Jenkins, maybe 177 yards. And take it in for a score.
Can't ask for anything more, man.
You got some running backs averaging 5 yards a carry. I mean, and let's not talk like the backup running back Bentley went for 90 yards on 9 attempts and averaged 10 yards a carry. Come on, man. Like, it doesn't get no better than that. And then on top of that, if we're going to go further, you got the quarterback going for 50 yards on the run on top of his arm. So, I mean, what more do you... At this point, I'm saying defense, help me.
It's just, again, it was a great weekend of college football. Like, these are the games that you look forward to. These are really the games that really just have you on the edge of your seat.
Right.
And they did just that. Right. I mean, you can't ask for much more, man. And I know you guys probably gonna be like, man, these guys are really just ripping through these games. We're giving you what we saw. I mean, these games were just fluid throughout 4 quarters. And I mean, they were just, it was like almost poetic, just poetry emotion.
It's like, both teams from the game we talked about before to now figure something out.
Yeah.
In Colorado figured something out with that USC offense on their defensive side, in that second half. And then the offense figured out, this is what we can do. These plays work. This player is getting this type of separation, and these windows are opening up. So if I hit them in this spot, it's gonna work. And they figured it out. And just like this game, they figured out something. They figured out the run game is working. Okay, Dart can put it on the drive right there. I mean, hey, coach is gonna coach, players gonna play. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. I mean, these games were fun to watch, entertaining to be a part of, whatever. It was cool.
Yeah, for sure. And we're not gonna waste any time, man. We're already on our final matchup. Georgia, Auburn, a Deep South Oldest rivalry. Brother, you weren't disappointed as an Auburn fan. You were not disappointed.
Well, going into the game, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
As an Auburn fan, I could finally come out and say this, and we finally talking about this big game. But I going in because Auburn's had a lot of question marks. Yeah, whether by design or not, we don't know what the offense is doing. We know the defense is solid. We know we have linebackers and all of that type of stuff. So we had a lot of question marks. And going into this game, I didn't know. But once the game started rolling, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Did Auburn come out and show us something different? I mean, you had Thorne coming out ripping off an 80-yard run and from with his back against the wall. I mean, it was beautiful. He looked like he was Robbie Ashford out there for a play.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then you get the running game going with Jacquees Hunter. He got going. Robbie Ashford got one. So I mean, it was good. It was good all around, especially the start.
Right.
But again, players made plays, and Georgia adjusted and figured something out. Auburn had locked up Brock Bowers for a good portion of the game, and then the coaches made an adjustment, and Beck figured out something in there, was throwing it to a spot, and players made plays. Bowers got in space, and he's like a big old truck, so you try to hit him, you probably falling off. I mean, anything touches him gonna fall off. So he like Superman out there. So I mean,
my it's funny you say that about Brock. My father in media, and I hope he sees this. Josh Tate made a funny tweet yesterday saying Brock Bowers is the best team in college football.
He is a beast.
The best team in college football, and he's not wrong. I mean, dude, for Brock, a lot of people challenge the way he's played in recent games. Not really getting a lot of touches, but when he has his game, he's gonna have a game. I mean, going 8 receptions for 157 yards, bro. That's unheard of.
Right, that's a beast number. But let's what people fail to realize, Brock Bowers, what makes him so great is not just him being able to catch the ball downfield. It's him being able to block and get his running backs open and protect his quarterback whenever the play calls for it. That is beautiful. And then on top of that, the icing on the cake is him being able to go down the field and run that 4-5 all the way down the field. So it's more than just the reception and all of that type of stuff. I think it's more so, him being able to be a true tight end and also spread out wide and get in space and do his thing.
For sure. And I mean, dude,
listen, the passing game from Auburn was shaky. It was shaky. But hear me out. Auburn is still trying to find their way.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
I mean, having to go in that two quarterback set, like that, just what Auburn has going on right now, it actually provides a more dynamic play for Auburn because when you're facing up against teams, you can get either a quarterback like Peyton Thorne who's going to sit in the pocket, but then out of nowhere you have a dual threat like Robbie Ashford who can play in the air and on the on the ground.
Well, see, with that though, you think about it. Thorne showed that he can use his leg. I'm not saying that he's the athlete that Ashford. I'm not saying he's not he's the athlete that Ashford is. But Thorne can get it done.
Right.
It's just execution. So that's what it boils down to. Because Robbie Ashford, he struggles with executing those deep throws, and Thorne has shown that he's able to do that better.
Yeah.
So for us, we just had to because there was a lot of passes. We had some passes open down the field. We had some shots that we took. We missed them. Whether it was receivers dropping it or Thorne and miscommunication, whatever it might have been, we didn't connect on those. And had we connected on those, it may have been a different outcome. I'm not saying that we would have won or anything like that, but it definitely would have shaken things up a little bit. But it's a little shaky. But I know that they're finding their way. New coach, new offensive coordinator, everything's new. Yeah. A lot of transfer portal guys, so nobody's really accustomed to each other. So the chemistry is building, but you can definitely tell that Auburn played this game a lot better than they played their previous game.
For sure.
Even from the difference between last week and this week was phenomenal, in my opinion, because Thorne got better. Robbie Ashford with the RPO was able to read better. The running backs got going. The line held up better, and the defense played sensational.
Yeah.
So I mean, all you can ask for is growth.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and I really see that with this Auburn team, and I mean, I wish the best of luck for them going on, with the rest of the year. This is coming from a Georgia fan. One thing about us, we're unbiased. Like we're gonna give you the cold hard facts about if our team is not playing to its full potential, we'll let it be known. And I mean, and I really feel like this Georgia team really showed a lot of fight this game.
A lot of resilience.
Yeah, especially starting off a little slow in that first half. Dude, I will say this: Mike Bobo lives to see another day.
Well, I rock with it. I mean, he did very well scheming to get Brock Bowers open in that second half, especially the fourth quarter.
For sure.
And to Beck's credit, he found those openings, and he took some shots.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in that backfield. He got blown up a few times and still delivered some passes and. Receivers was able to make plays. Players make plays. They adjusted, got the catches. I mean, it was a couple tip passes to themselves and stuff like that. But you got to do that because you got you have like a Auburn playing at Georgia, which is Auburn has less 5 stars, less talent on this side of the ball. You have to play with a different type of fire. You got to play with some hunger. So they played with hunger. But them stars showed up. The stars aligned for Georgia in that, especially in that fourth quarter. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, bro, it was good to see Ladd come back yesterday and contribute a little bit as well. But man, I mean, just phenomenal play between Beck and Brock and John Edwards. But bro, I'm really truly looking forward to seeing what next year game has in store.
Oh, always, it's always. And he frees to be in year 2.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. See what the quarterback situation is looking like, the defenses, everything like that. But like I said, this game would really boil down to, getting your players in space. I mean, Brock Bowers was the savior of this game, in my opinion, because the run game really couldn't get started for Georgia, which, we're accustomed to seeing for Georgia as far as them being able to attack with the run and, get big plays up the middle and in space or bubble screens or whatever. That was limited.
Yeah.
But Georgia figured out a way. Said, okay, if y'all are going to play this, we're going to do this.
Right.
And they got Brock Bowers in a lot of open windows and zone or whatever. And Brock Bowers took it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And like you said, the team of Brock Bowers, he literally carried the team.
But hear me out, though. You guys really dominated in the rushing game.
Jacquez Hunter and Betty. I mean, Betty.
But you know what's crazy? Peyton Thorne had the most yards out of all.
I mean, you rip off an 80-yard run, you have a lot more too. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, but like I said, you know, I know a lot. As an Auburn fan, I see a lot of Auburn fans saying, "Hey, Thorne is not an answer. Put this guy in. Put this guy in." We're not seeing these players in practice every day.
Yeah,
you know, I personally like Thorne. You know, I just think he's just trying to figure out, you know, what's going on because he's got Hugh Freeze in his ear, and then he has his offensive coordinator in Philip Montgomery. So, you know, you got coaches that kind of want to do different things in certain situations. So, him handling it, you know, he's a veteran quarterback, you know, coming from Michigan State or whatever. He has an arm, and he's able to play. He has good accuracy. He just has to settle down. Yeah. He proved to me because I was like, man, he's just a pocket quarterback. So they used to Robbie, but you know when he gets out of run, he got some speed. Like he was running a little scared, man. But he said he got there though. He said, look here, I'm gonna get what I can. You catch me, You know,
I'm coming away with something.
Right. So, but I mean, like I said, it's just some struggles, whatever. But it's growing pains. I mean, every team goes through it at some point. You know, you get a new coach, you get a new coordinators, you get revamped teams every year. You got to figure it out.
Sure.
I mean, Georgia's going through a lot of those changes. You know, trying to figure out their identity on the offensive side of the ball because you know, I have a new offensive coordinator after losing yards last year. I'm just trying to figure some things out. You know, because as a quarterback, you know, you learn something new. So it takes time. So I mean, like I always give a 5-week grace period. You know, after 5 weeks, you should be settled in because you're kind of used to how everybody wants to call everything. You know what I'm saying? So after that, you know, you gotta put in that work. You gotta put in that work
for sure. And I mean, dude, I have to give a shout out to this Georgia defense. Small Monday doing Javon Bullis, bro. 15 solo tackles in between two.
Beast.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Auburn's defense did what they had to do, but man, those guys came in clutch for sure, bro. Because that game, I'm telling you, that game was slipping out of our fingertips for sure. And I mean, when you have guys like that who just step up and really show that, hey, we're not going to lose this game, right? We have to go back to Athens with a W, right? And it really shows it where this defense is going to head. Because it was some early growing pains. And I mean, you lost a lot of guys to the draft, right? So it's a lot of guys, like you said, next man up, and a lot of guys who have to step up and really show, like, hey, this is where
that championship mentality.
Exactly.
Everybody, you're the top dog. Everybody, you're gonna get everybody's best. I don't care if you know you're Tulane or whatever Towson. It doesn't matter. You know, you play Georgia, they're gonna give you their best. Whoever you're playing against, because who don't want to be the team? I don't care if you go 9-1. I mean, 10-1 or whatever. You got to say that you beat the number one team in the country. So if you beat them, so but to beat a champ, you got to beat the champ. That's just how it is. I mean, when Bama was there, who did Georgia have to go through? Bama. So you know what I'm saying. So everybody has to go through Georgia. All roads lead through Athens. So I mean, Georgia's not playing bad ball. It's just we're so used to a certain look of Georgia for the last 2 years. It's kind of like, wow, you know, they're regular, maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's kind of like, you know, when the defense balled out yesterday, you know, stopped us. We were driving and they held strong on a lot of plays or whatever, you know. But, you know, had some cracks, you know, here and there, but that's typical. But we're so used to seeing a defense that's so dominant that doesn't allow anything, we forget that, you know, that's not normal. You know, the last 2 years, Georgia defenses were not normal. You know, so, I mean, they're going to be okay. I mean, at the end of the day, Georgia's still undefeated. So, you know, they're still number one. Yeah. So, I mean, you go through those growing pains when you lose people to the draft and you get new people in and this, that, and third. It's forever changing in college football and in all sports in general. So, you know.
For sure. Well, I don't know if you had one more thing you wanted to shout out or hit on, but we got some breaking news that came through. Georgia is about to potentially announce
an approval of NIL deals in the high school level, and we have thoughts. This is the college couch chat of the week. I mean, I have some thoughts.
I personally, I mean, it from high school to college. College, I think NIL deal needs some tweaking. You know, definitely think it's necessary. I think it needs some tweaking. But at the high school level, my initial thoughts were, this is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Because you giving kids 16, 15, 17 years old, keys to all these millions of dollars, the mindset is going to change. Like I know at one point it used to be, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to become a better football player, a better basketball player, a better whatever sport you're going to be. That's where you develop those skills and learn how to be a professional.
Right.
You know, and go to your professional career. So when you get to your professional career, you have a long career and a productive career. But now, this is all changed, and now that you're making these money and this, that, and the third, a lot of people get the big headed. You know, you're like, I don't need to develop skills. I'm already good enough. I'm already here. I'm already there. I've already got millions of dollars. I don't need this, that, and the third. So now, why do I need to go to this level when I've already got it?
For sure.
Now, it's not everybody. I know it's still some people out there that are humble and know that they need to develop. Even if you're a 5-star, if you ain't catching every ball and you ain't 200 yards every game, and if you're a running back, if you ain't breaking every tackle, you're a quarterback, if you ain't going 30 for 30, then you got some skills to brush up on.
Yeah.
So college gives you that, in my opinion.
Okay.
So I just hope that this NIL deal with the high schools does not make players say, hey, I don't need to go to school and develop because I'm already developed.
For sure.
Because I have money and I have skills. So that's my take.
Absolutely, and those are great points. And I also have my own pros and cons for it. And just talking with your fiance, she came out here and made a great point before we went on. She was like, this actually gives high school students a chance to kind of explore the avenue of entrepreneurship in a way. And me and you kind of sat back and was like, that's actually a great point, because you're learning how to manage your money. You know, you're learning how to actually talk shop with a lot of these agencies and stuff, and learn how to make your own contracts and stuff, which is great.
Right.
But also the con would be, you don't want these kids at 17, 16, 18 years old making all these gazillions amounts of dollars to where they're like, I don't need to do this anymore. Like, it was fun, but now I'm making all this money. I can do whatever I kind of want to now,
It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
I'm all for entrepreneurship. Let me say that first. Like, if you could capitalize off your YouTube, like I said, my initial thoughts are what I just spoke about, but now that I've read more into how they're doing it, and it's not really using the school's name, and this, that, and the third. So it's already kind of like, you capitalizing off your YouTube views, and, if you want to make your own merch and stuff like that, that's cool. Make your money. Don't get me wrong. Make your money. But I just want you to see why that money is coming to you, because you're a football player and you're a student athlete, or you're a basketball player, student athlete, whatever. So that's what's making you your money.
Right.
That's what's giving you your name, image, and likeness. So you have to develop those skills so that you can continue to maximize it. So just like with players now, you're making $3-4 million in college. When you get to the pros, you want to be able to capitalize and make more than that.
Right.
You want to get to the 40 millions and with the Patrick Mahomes $500 million contract. That's what you're trying to get to, because $2 million looks like chump change to $500 million. I'm just saying, I take either one.
Yeah.
But but I'm just saying, you want to develop your skills, develop your professionalism, so that when you get to your professional part or whatever you do after school, you can say, hey, I'm already here. You know what I'm saying? So I can have more to negotiate with.
Right.
Like, like the rookies now, like the ones that are going first round top picks and stuff like that, they have more leeway to negotiate because the skills are already developed.
Yeah.
They're coming in not fully developed, but closer to being fully developed than the latter or whatever. So
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, again, those are phenomenal points.
And I really hope, this meeting that they're gonna have this upcoming Monday, they really truly sit down and discuss this thing. Don't just be so quick to approve it,
Right.
as soon as it hits the table.
Right.
Really analyze and read through this thing, because this is something. I mean, Georgia will be the 30th state to approve NIL deals
So
if this goes through.
I mean, they've been seeing the good and the
Right.
bad, so they should know,
Exactly.
what works, what doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, I really truly hope that they take time to read through this entire thing. Don't just, as soon as it hits the table, approve it, because this is potentially going to affect the way we look at Georgia high school sports as we know it.
Right.
I mean, because think about it, bro. Just last year, we had a controversy within the championship game to where refs, are calling touchdowns when it's literally down at the yard line. But now we're about to give kids, all these, type of dollars. But like, is it worth it?
That's why I say you look at it, you gotta work, because everything can be tweaked.
Right.
It's like transfer portal, that was tweaked. Even though to me it should be tweaked again. But you with business or anything, you try stuff, if it doesn't work, go back to the drawing board, see stuff that works, keep those things till you get something that's perfect or close to perfect as you can get.
Right.
Because everything's forever evolving.
Exactly.
With technology, with X, Y, and Z, whatever. So with this, I mean, you work on it. Luckily, they're the 30th state to get it. Georgia's 30th state to get it. So if that's the case, you got 29 other states that you can talk to and say, okay, what worked for y'all, what didn't work. Yeah. So now, let's see if we can, get some of that out of the way, so that when we start, we already higher elevated from when y'all started, and then we can improve upon that. So, we'll see in a couple weeks or whatever, months, and we'll see what they say.
Hey, well, listen, if you like it, I love it. Listen, we're not gonna hold you up here, man. This has been another phenomenal episode of the College Couch Podcast, the only podcast where a Georgia and Auburn fan can sit here and have a rational.
I guess I can like you today.
You gonna like me next year too when we be.
But man, y'all like, subscribe, comment. You want us to cover a specific game? I don't care what sport it is, volleyball, track, whatever you do, college sports. Come holler at us, let us know. We got bills to pay. Holler.
Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, I gotta.